I'm joined now here with Coach Dan Miller of San Marcos High School basketball, first year head coach at San Marcos. Before we get into this interview, Coach, first off, how you doing today?
It's going really good. We just finished with basketball practice. The guys are doing good, and we're ready for a game tomorrow night.
There you go. So, for those that don't know, and of course, people in the San Marcos, community already know this, but tell us about your journey to San Marcos. Your first year here, started out in Houston, but kind of walk us through that journey of how you got to San Marcos.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been coaching for a while, and the last 7 years I was a head coach at LeTourneau University. I really enjoyed my time there. Our family enjoyed the community, but just we were ready for a change, and my assistant coach was there, and he was ready. I felt if I left to take over a really good team, so I felt we left it in a good spot. We already had won the AFC championship, and just wanted a new challenge. But also just in life, my wife and I are at a stage where all our kids were either in college or our daughter's out of college. So we kind of wanted to move to Central Texas. We love Austin area, and we love San Marcos, and it just worked great to come here. Before that, before my time at LeTourneau University as the head coach there, I was fortunate to start Seven Lakes High School as the first head basketball coach there, and was there for 9 years, and we had a successful program, and wanted to get back into college coaching. And again, my assistant took over and has done a great job at Seven Lakes after that. So it's been a kind of a transition to move to Central Texas, but a great one. We absolutely love the San Marcos community, the people. My wife teaches here at the high school. That was a big appeal to us. It's our first time ever being at the same school together, and having a chance to impact kids together. So we're enjoying it a lot.
Well, and I'll jump in and say I'm right there with you at the San Marcos community. I went to college for both my undergrad and grad at Texas State, so love that
There you
community.
go.
Now, talk to me about you as a coach. What are some of your core principles? What do people get when they are coached under a Dan Miller program?
Well, it starts with our core values. When I believe in your program, you have to have core values: integrity, accountability, unity, because you have to have teams that are together, all pulling the same direction, and toughness. And then, as far as the basketball part goes, we also have four principles that we're wherever we go. That I believe that you have to have attention to details. Be great at the little things, whether that's our huddles, our when coaches are talking in huddles, we're paying attention. We're locked arms. We're hustling on and off the court. Ready to win the end of the quarters. All the little details in basketball. We want to dominate the effort plays. We like to play fast. In our program, we teach it, we preach it, we practice it. Playing fast. It's not something we just talk about. We play fast. We have great spacing, fast pace, extra pass on offense, and then just understanding your role, being great at your role is so important in our program, and getting people to buy into. Whether you're somebody who's going to get a lot of shots or somebody maybe who doesn't play a lot, you are valued, you are important, and getting everybody locked in and pulling the same way. So that's what our basketball program, I think, is all about. And then seek winning, because winning's fun. It's not easy. It's the journey of winning, but we've had success in a lot of different places we've been to, because of the practices of seeking winning in our drills and having that carry over to Tuesdays and Fridays now in high school basketball.
So then going into the season, obviously you're first as a head coach at San Marcos. What did you do, or what was your mindset with this group in particular to kind of get them to buy into those principles, to get them to where they're at this point in the season?
Right. I was fortunate to be able to come here in the spring, and I had some practices, I think maybe about 1 month before the summer. And then we moved here in the summer, and that's when I was here full time working with the guys. I didn't mention our first principle of basketball. I don't know how I didn't, but to protect the basketball. Because no team, no matter what style you play, if you're turning it over a lot, you're not going to be successful. So everything we do in practice, we preach that. We want to play fast, but we want to protect the basketball. So we do what we call be solid drills every day, whether it's baseline, jump stop, passing, something that simple, or our Spurs passing series, or even in our shooting drills, we stress pass, catch, ball handle, tough, be ball tough. Because we want to, when you watch Rattler basketball, you should be watching basketball teams that take care of the basketball. So that's the first thing, really installing that. We still have a ways to go. Especially with our younger levels, our freshmen they're still getting the hang of it. But we will get there. It's building a program is not an overnight thing. So it needs to, start with your youth, junior high, middle school, and then eventually reach up to the varsity. So, just building relationships is the second thing, to get the trust. I think that, my resume, of being a college basketball coach and not just being a college basketball coach, but having a lot of success helps. But it's never about me or anything like that. It's just getting the guys to understand what it takes to win, and not talk about it, not be hype, and then go out there on Fridays and Tuesdays and not play the right way. So just getting them to believe. But I'll say this: we have great kids here. No one's perfect. Definitely not as a coach, but the kids are great kids, and they buy into it. We still have work to do, but they're starting to see now the fruits of the labor as we're starting to win.
Now, I did notice heading into the season that you put yourself into some tournaments that found you kind of facing some good competition. Was that kind of intentional for you to kind of get ready for this season?
Absolutely. When we played this summer, first we went into the TABC, which is a lot of teams all throughout the state. We really enjoyed that event, but I asked the directors there, could we play the toughest teams? And they put us against North Crowley. They put us against Mansfield Legacy, who has a great team, and one other school. I know that was very good. So that helped right off the bat. And we have several of our guys play, high level club basketball. That helps too. But then we went to the Texas Invitational, and, we didn't get as many wins there as we wanted, but we finished the tournament with a nice win and a lot of learning moments there. And that definitely has helped, to get where we are now. But we still have a ways to go. Obviously, we have some very good teams in our conference coming up, and we're going to play better when we see them next time.
Yeah, indeed. And speaking of that, moving on to district, you just started district. I think you've played 2 games so far in district, if I'm not mistaken.
Four. We're
Okay.
4-0
Okay.
right now. Yep.
4-0, and technically you've played 5 district opponents, but one of them was in the tournament, Westlake, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But does your mindset as a coach or as a team change at all going into district? As we know at the high school level, those kind of pre-district games, they're great and everything, but they don't mean nothing as far as making playoffs. So does your mindset at all change as a coach or a team now that you're in district?
Honestly, the best way I could answer this, to be honest, it doesn't as much as people think, in that if it does, we're not doing things right in October, November, and December. I want our mindset. Championship standards are all the time thing. They're not just when we play in district or maybe play against the best teams in district. It's a daily habit. So other than maybe we do a little more scouting for our guys, give them a little bit more detailed scouting reports in district play than non-district. But we prepare for every non-district game like it's a district game. Our tournaments, we approach them just like it was playoffs. So they have that experience, and I want them to know that anytime they're wearing the purple and it says Rattlers on their uniform, we're representing our city, our high school. We need to do everything we can to win the game, or at least play the right way. So we approach each game the same, I'd say, as far as that goes. Now, as far as district play, there's a lot on the line every time you take the court, because you're going for seeding in the playoffs and you're trying to maybe win the district. So we definitely put a lot of importance into our preparation for those games.
And now, you've had some success, at Seven Lakes, and then when you moved on to the college level before you came back here. Is that something you've been trying to kind of implement in this team, that kind of that championship drive, if you will? Because as I know, being from the San Marcos community, it's been a little while since San Marcos has had some success in the playoffs. Or even it's been, I think, 5 years since they last made the playoffs. So just talk to me a little bit about that, creating that type of mindset of being getting that championship mindset.
Right. So we use championship standards as our terminology. We talk about it with everything, that we're involved in, whether it's the locker room keeping it clean, whether it's how we defend a pick and roll, championship standards. So I do think that that's something that we try to install right from the start, and hopefully that carries over into district play in the playoffs. But it's just one game at a time. We're not overlooking anybody. We're locked in to the best practice we could have today, and tomorrow the best game. And they're starting to really pick up on those championship standards, and hopefully that'll carry over.
Coming around at the right time, indeed. Finally, I'd be kind of remiss if I didn't give you the chance to kind of talk about some of your players with the team, any of that stood out so far this season. Just give you that opportunity to show some love to some of these players.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's definitely, like I said, it's everybody contributes on our team, and is so important and valued in our program. If you're a Rattler, whether you're on our freshman team or on our varsity, you're valued. Doesn't mean you have the same role. Jimmy Johnson said it best when he was at the Cowboys. We're going to treat everybody fair, but not equal. Everyone can't take the same amount of shots or play the same amount of minutes. And the guys, I think, are understanding and really buying into whatever their role is that day to star in their role. But it starts with our senior, Caleb Williams. It just sets the tone, an example of how to be a Rattler off the court, which is so important to me. Ultimately, the air is going to come out of the basketball for everybody, and it's about the person that you are. And Caleb is just such a great example, and he starts every game and will all the way through the end of the season for us in our starting lineup. And then when he comes out of the game, he cheers his team on, and whatever his role is that night. So Caleb's obviously very important. And then Jordan Mendoza, also another senior. I want to give him credit. A lot of times you go to the games, you're not going to see him in the game, but he's never once complained about not playing. He comes to practice every day, and he's a Rattler through and through. So first it starts with our two seniors, because we only have two seniors. One who plays quite a bit and one who doesn't, but they set the tone. And then, obviously Malik and Matthias and Caden, they're doing big things on the court for us. They play heavy minutes. They're very good players. Caden and Malik, have scholarship offers, and will only get more because they love the game and they play it the right way, and they're competitive. And, I love to see the growth in those three guys and not be satisfied, and be hungry. They want to win. And that's the most important thing to me, great players want to win, not just be about their stats, and they're not. And then with all our role players, I could name them all, but Abel and X off the bench, and Isaiah coming in. He hasn't been healthy, but, and now he's starting to be healthy, or had some things he had to be gone for, but he'll start to play more. JB off the bench as help. We move Zaire up. We got a freshman Cash. So everybody's contributing. And what I love is they play for each other. And I think that's going to help us reach our goals.
Now, before we get out of here, I said before we sent this live, you had the conversation off screen. I said going to be bringing some little fun questions your way. So this is the first one for you as we close the show. Something the audience may not know is that you have a somewhat relationship with VYPE before me and you have kind of met with San Marcos, and that's because kind of one of our co-founders, Derek. Talk to me a little about that relationship with you and Derek.
Yeah, man, Derek Dushek's a great guy down there in Houston. He covered us a lot at Seven Lakes. I think we were on the cover of the VYPE magazine one year for our student section, the Spartan Crazies, and what we were doing on the court. But before that, honestly, as we met, he coached my son. And my son was playing youth basketball at the time. His son, I think, was 1 year older. And he was a very good coach, too. So maybe that's something people don't know about Derek, is that he's a great coach, great man, and he loves basketball. I think he's a Kansas State fan, but he's a basketball fan the most. And he brought a lot to Houston. I'll say this, though, too. VYPE has done a lot for Houston in bringing publicity to basketball, because, we're in a football state, but basketball is really dang good, too, right? So he did a lot for that, just like you guys are doing in Central Texas, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we're definitely trying. Growing. VYPE Houston's been around for a decade or so. VYPE in Austin, San Antonio, just over a couple of years. So hopefully get to that level one day. Final question for you.
Right.
I know the San Marcos community knows this. I found this out when you came on to the Rattler Up podcast, back in, I think it was early December. But you're a huge Packers fan. As we know, they locked up the 1 seed. So prediction time. Most likely, we don't know if all the rumblings are. This is maybe Rodgers' last season with the Packers, maybe in football in general. Do you think he kind of walks off into the proverbial sunset with his second trophy? What do you think?
Man, I hope so. So, a lot of people know it. I think they're sick of me saying it. I'm from right outside of Green Bay, about 20 minutes. So, we've been going to Packer games since I was young. And I think so. My desk is wood, so I'm knocking on wood. I think it's set up for them. They got some players coming back. I think he and the team, this is their year. I know Cowboys fans are probably swearing at the screen right now. But I do think it's a year. But what could be very interesting, if the Cowboys win and the Packers win the NFC Championship in Lambeau, it's going to be cold just like the Ice Bowl, and your coach is our former coach. So that could be a lot of fun in 2 to 3 weeks if they square up.
Lots of good storylines, and I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I am wearing a Cowboys hat. Kind of did that a little bit intentionally because I knew I was going to be asking you that question. But Coach, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Yeah, thank you for having us and on today. And I just want to say we appreciate the coverage. And, the San Marcos community has been really good since I've been here, since my family has been here. And they get behind the basketball team. And we really want to encourage everyone to come out on Tuesday, Friday nights when we play at home, because they're going to see a great group of guys working hard, and they're entertaining too.
Oh, 100%. So definitely get out to, I believe it's called the Snake Pit, if I'm not mistaken, on all the home games, and cheer on the Rattlers. Coach, thanks again for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.